Did Arsenal give City the title? Chelsea are having another howler this weekend, and a Premier League record was set this weekend. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. With me tonight, that is Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below, that's Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs and the Milwaukee Brewers, it looks like. Is that correct?
Oh, and a lot of other teams.
Well, but tonight you're supporting the Brewers.
It's Tottenham Blue.
Tottenham, there we go. All right, boys, how are we doing tonight? How are we doing?
I'm here so I don't get fined.
It's like that.
I am here to recognize the absolutely unstoppable force of Baldy and his army of machines that is an uncontrollable march to the championship.
There's a man with beautiful hair that's going to stop him this year.
See, I think, look, you have the machines versus the refs. So that's what the season's going to come down to. Can the refs get Liverpool enough points to beat the machines?
Yeah, I hate you both. All right, before we dig in to this episode, hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell if you're on the podcast sites. Hit it with a follow, like, review, all those good things. Share it with a friend. Hit share and post it on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok, whatever you're doing these days. It does really help us out tremendously. Type up an email and send it to your email listserv. That's still a thing in 2024, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But maybe
put it in your email signature.
Yeah, there you go. As long as you don't mind people associating you with this podcast, which maybe is questionable. Who knows? But so, okay, what we're dealing with tonight, we had the 20 game gauntlet, the midweek matches and the weekend matches, match week 22 and 23. Most teams have played 23 matches at this point. Only a few have not. Only a few have not. We won't pull up the league table specifically. If you are interested in looking at that, that is going to be scrolling along the bottom of your screen. It just reset. So if you want to look right now, you'll see first place Liverpool, second place City. I didn't plan that, but it worked out tremendously in my favor. But before we do that, we do have a comment from Jimmy that we want to get into. Essentially, we were talking last week. We were kind of setting up the second half of the Premier League season, and Jimmy, we kind of asked people what they were thinking, and Jimmy was saying that he still thinks that City will win the title, Liverpool will finish second, and Arsenal will finish third. Now, he did post this after watching the Arsenal-Liverpool match at the weekend. He did also give a caveat that he thinks that it's possible for Arsenal to catch Liverpool and overtake them, but that he doesn't think anyone will catch that won't catch City. He thinks either United or Aston Villa will finish fourth, which interesting for you, Sean. His other comment was about relegation. He just thinks that if Forest and Everton don't receive any more deductions, he thinks that Luton Town, Burnley, and Sheffield will go down. All safe, relatively safe picks, Jimmy, on the relegation system.
Boy, do I got something for him this episode.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, he's ready.
He has some spice in here?
I've got a new entrant to the going down club.
Oh.
That he is not going to see coming.
We will have to deal with that in just a moment. But we want to start at the top of the table. The big clash across these 20 games was really Arsenal-Liverpool from the Emirates on Sunday. Arsenal win the game 3-1. I will posit that it was a very thorough and convincing victory. Would anyone take umbrage with that claim?
I would not. I watched all 90. You thoroughly won that game. You thoroughly would have won that game without the red card.
Yeah, so I didn't watch it live. I obviously was a little bit behind because Sunday mornings in church and whatnot. But
their goal felt lucky to make it 1-1.
Well, I mean, they went into halftime 1-1, and they didn't have a shot on goal. They didn't have a single shot on target in the 90 minutes,
which is hilarious.
Yeah,
by the way,
it's pretty humorous when you think about it. I can laugh about it after the fact, knowing that Arsenal
yes,
won.
when you you win the game, that is funny.
Yeah. But what was my point? They had two shots.
I don't know.
They had 2 shots on target the entire game. It was only 1.
The website, I just put up the stats because I unfortunately didn't get to watch the game either. Yeah, Liverpool with more stats, only 1 shot on target.
They had more possession.
Over 100 passes more.
Liverpool.
So they were moving the ball. Yeah, Liverpool did.
Well, okay, let me break that down for you. So essentially, Arsenal, normally a very high pressing team, want to press you at the goalkeeper. We weren't really interested in that against Liverpool. We essentially sat back and gave them their half of the field, and then once they crossed over the halfway line, that's when we sprung and we really pressed them at that point. Now there were a couple situations where we did press them high, but the majority of the game we kind of gave them their half of the field and pressed them once they tried to move the ball across midfield line. And so we really compacted the space they were willing to work with. And so, yeah, they had a lot of possession. They had more possession, but it wasn't very useful possessions. It was a good tactic by Arteta. And I think, whatever, it wasn't as expansive, but it worked. Now, you Liverpool fans, you will, of course, point at the fact that you think that Arsenal's second goal was quite lucky. And perhaps it was. The Martinelli getting through on Van Dijk and Alisson whiffing the ball. And it was fortunate, but I mean, we put ourselves in that position, and Martinelli was there. Martinelli was stronger than Van Dijk in that situation, which is hilarious to think about, that Gabriel Martinelli, who is probably like 135 pounds soaking wet, moved Virgil van Dijk. Like, that's just humorous. And so, whatever, man. Like, yeah, that was fortunate. And then Trossard had a fantastic goal at the end to seal it. So, yeah, I obviously very happy. And I take umbrage with the claim that Arsenal aren't right there. City and Liverpool have to play each other in a few weeks. Arsenal have to play City. Arsenal, maybe I was talking with Amanda about this, but Arsenal have an incredibly tough number of away games coming up. We have to go to City, we have to go to United, we have to go to Tottenham.
So do Tottenham. We go to Stamford Bridge. We go to we go to the Emirates. We go. These are tough games.
You don't go to the Emirates. The Arsenal Tottenham games at your stadium.
Okay. We go to City. We go to Anfield.
Yeah.
We've got a tough second half as well.
So,
bro, I don't know if you know how toxic Stamford Bridge is going to be for Chelsea in that game.
Well, it's still a hard game to play because the players on the field are confused as to who they're cheering against. Sometimes it's against you guys. Sometimes it's against us. It's confusing.
We can get into this in just a second, and maybe I'll save it for that. But my closing thoughts are: Arsenal fully deserved to win the game. Jurgen Klopp admitted it. There wasn't a lot of controversy in the match. It seemed fairly straightforward. And absolutely, I think Arsenal are still in the thick of it. We're getting players back healthy. Thomas Partey should be back soon. Jurrien Timber was included in our Champions League squad list. So while that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be available for the first set of games, it does indicate, or like against Porto, it would indicate that if Arsenal were to progress against Porto, that Arsenal have a high, strong confidence that they think he would be ready for the round of 8. So that's cool.
I see.
And then Tomiyasu was on his way back from not AFCON, but the Asian Cup, because Japan got bounced by, I think, Iran or Qatar, something like that. So whatever, man. We're getting healthy. Emil Smith-Rowe's back. He's playing well. Like, maybe things are coming together. So I do think that Arsenal have a say in this title race. Now, this all could be for naught if we lose against West Ham at the weekend, which is Arsenal could do that. So we will see what happens if Arsenal can remain consistent. But I think at this point, Arsenal are still in it. Now, speaking about toxic Stamford Bridge, Brad.
Yeah.
The Wolves fans had a chant for Chelsea at one point in the game.
You're effing shite.
Yeah. The chant is
We're effing
yeah,
shite.
you're fucking shit. And then the Chelsea fans took it up and said, "We're fucking shit." Like that's what they were doing, which was very very humorous. Wolves beat Chelsea 4-2 at Stamford Bridge.
Yes.
There's a lot to unpack here in the grander scope of Chelsea than just this specific match. Things that come to mind. Is Pochettino's job safe? What is going wrong? Like how does that happen? But then also from the Wolves perspective, Wolves are at 32 points. They're 9th place in the league. Like what would have happened? 10th place. Excuse me. Sorry, West and Newcastle. What would have happened if they didn't have so many like PGMOL apologies this year? Like where would they be at the table if they hadn't been having issues?
And Onana did it again. What PGMOL apologized for? He didn't punch somebody, but his whole body went through somebody and missed the ball.
Oh, but that was outside the box, right? Wasn't that one?
It was in the box. It was a corner.
Oh,
it was the same thing again. It was 100% a corner, and he just ran through the guy, missed the ball. And no apology this time.
Sorry. Well,
that just sparked in my head. I was like, oh yeah, that was the first apology.
When it happens to the goalkeeper, it doesn't really seem to.
The goalkeeper did it.
We'll get to inconsistencies or perhaps consistencies in a different way in just a second, because I know where you want to go with that, Sean. But like, so you think Poch's job is safe at the moment, right? You were nodding your head no.
Yes. So at the beginning, he signed a 24-month deal with the idea that in 1 year we're going to sit back down and we'll either extend or we'll play it out or you'll leave at that time. Right?
There's no
really
way.
Those are the two chances.
There's no way he goes into next season with 12 months left on his contract.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. It's extend or leave.
Yeah.
Right. Unless you want to make him a lame duck coach, but that'd just be stupid.
Yeah, it's not smart.
Like, especially with
the amount of contract. There's nothing like Chelsea Football Club and stupid managerial decisions that go hand in hand more than that. Like, there's nothing on earth that goes more hand in hand than that.
I know what you're trying to say, but at the same time, outside of the Roman era, you're correct. During the Roman era, it produced results.
That's fair. That's a fair statement.
So you can't say that it was a stupid managerial decisions when we kept getting results. Now it would be a foolish decision because there is no results to get. So like, why? Like, look, even if you're going to sack him, right? Like, hey, we are going to get rid of him. Who's coming in? What are we getting Frank back?
That's a mistake.
Like, right, that's a worse mistake, right? Because then it's the same thing as last year. Yeah. So why? Like, just let it ride. Let's just let it ride.
It kind of seems like you need to like get outside of the English sphere. Like go find, like, I guess you did with Tuchel. I don't know. Like find a.
Tuchel was Roman.
Maybe find a manager who is managing in the Champions League. Maybe not necessarily the biggest league in the world, but has managed big games. I don't have any of these names. Like I don't know who is.
Hansi Flick. Apparently, Hansi Flick is high up on the list. Apparently, Egbali wants Xabi Alonso on the bench next week. That's in the toxic Twitter that in the Chelsea Twitter or X sphere. That is the most toxic thing on earth. Apparently, that's the new rumors. Egbali wants to go scoop up Alonso.
Well,
which would be foolish. Why would Xabi come to us? And I don't. Like, I normally wouldn't say that, right? Because like normally Chelsea is in the top 4, and I'm on repeat. I know a healthy Chelsea, I think, is a top 4, top 6 team, probably closer to top 4 than top 6, right? Like we're fighting for Europe.
Well, that's different. You said closer to top 4 than top 6. You said, and then you said fighting for Europe. If you're top 4,
sorry. What I'm saying is fighting for Champions League. Sorry, let me rephrase. Fighting for Champions League.
I don't know if I can agree with that.
I think we're a fully healthy Chelsea. I think is up there competing with Villa and Tottenham. Yes. I think I've already said our 4 best defenders haven't played a single minute together this season, right? Because
Yes.
Jimmy went in on that, right? Okay, that's because Fofana's hurt. So then I wanted to
But how do you
more
know?
research.
You've never seen Fofana play for your club.
Yes,
To be fair, he's played like 10 minutes for your club, Brad.
he's played.
His
He's played a
first
few
season-
How do you
games.
know he's your
He's played
best
a few
defender?
games.
Yeah, how many? Someone Google that real quick. How many appearances does Fofana have for Chelsea? Because I would.
How do you know?
It's probably less than 10, isn't it? Less like he played a little bit at the
Because
beginning of
I've
last
seen
season,
the rest of them.
and then he got injured. And then
Because
he
I've
was,
seen the rest of them.
So a guy with a peg leg is better than what you have on the field? I'm not saying that's
He played 15 matches last
okay,
year.
so that's your best defender is a guy that's played 15 matches and been injured for a year and a half. That's your best defender.
Right now, yeah, on the right side, yes.
Okay,
I
come
did
on,
feature
man.
15 times last year. That's impressive.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think that's me and James's point of like, why are you calling that? Is it because he's the hypothetical? He's the good one that's on the bench that we never. Is that Nkuku for you? Because Nkuku never played and he was your best striker.
Yes. Or yes.
But you didn't know that. You didn't know that he was your
Yes,
best
I did.
striker.
That's
He just
okay.
was unknown. He's a guy that scored in Austria somewhere. But now he's our best striker. But he's also injured. So yeah, he's our best striker because you haven't seen him yet. And so when Fofana finally plays, when he's shit, is he going to be just? Oh man, it's the injuries killed him.
Can
Like
I finish my sentence, or we
that's
still-
where I'm going with it. Like you don't know he's your best defender. Go ahead.
No. You got more? I can wait.
You don't know. You don't know that. Is my point.
I think it's a fair point statement to bring up because I think the claim that says this Chelsea fully fit is the fourth best team, because I think you would concede they're not better than City, right?
Yes.
Not better than Liverpool.
Sure. Over 38 games, yes.
You probably would say that they're pretty close to Arsenal, though, right? Because
Yes.
you think Arsenal's the worst of those three. But then you're also the claim that you're then making is that they're better than Tottenham, better than Manchester United, better than this edition of Aston Villa, which to me, like that's a really tall order to say that this Chelsea team.
Yeah, you're stretching there.
So let's take out the hypothetical dude, right? We'll take out Fofana. The other three of that back line. Do you know how many minutes they played together?
Well, you did tell us before we started recording the
podcast. I did. But what was your guess beforehand?
My guess was 49 and a half minutes. And Sean, I think his guess was 0.
76.
Yeah.
76 total minutes combined.
Yeah.
And this is the guy that told me that
sure, hold on. Chilwell wasn't even playing defense then. Chilwell was playing left wing.
That's true. That is true.
That's also
hold on.
So but it's also coming from the guy that told me that his third best center back, according to him, is better than Christian Romero. You told me out of your own best 4, that does not include Thiago Silva.
That is true.
That Thiago Silva was better than Christian Romero.
That's a fair point. You did say that.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
You're a walking hypocrite.
How?
There's no way your third best center back is better than.
I also think that Silva is probably a better player than Fofana, but you pick Fofana because he's younger and his career at Chelsea span. Like Silva's leaving at the end of the year.
Hypothetical, yeah.
What's the
he's
potential?
a much more aggressive center back.
It's the potential of Fofana.
Yeah. So, I think Sean and I just both think that saying that they're the fourth best team in England, barring injuries, I think that we're just skeptical of that claim. Which obviously you can disagree with. That's fine. I think Arsenal are the best team in England, and both of you guys are skeptical of that claim. So, like,
I am, and I was reminded of that. Do you think this might be a hemispherical thing about us being north of the hemisphere or just pessimists for whatever reason? But south of the hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, they're just optimists, eternal optimists down there. Because when we were bounced out of the FA Cup by Man City, a reporter asked Big Ange Postecoglou if if he was okay going through a season without a cup, without a trophy. And he got a big old grin on his face, and he said, "Are you saying we can't win the league?"
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Yes.
What a quote there. What a quote from a manager. Like, yeah, we still got a chance at the league. Not saying we're gonna win it, but like, who's saying we can't?
Slight wrinkle with that plan, though, Big Edge, is that you then proceed to draw away at Everton on the preceding match day.
Well, hey.
And
but
now,
I love the optimism in it, though.
Sure.
Which I love from Brad as well. The optimism of it.
Are you saying Brad's southern hemisphere?
He must be from the southern hemisphere.
Somehow.
Brad and his penguin.
Brad is Brazilian.
But that's an interesting question, because you had a bone to pick with PGMOL as well, Sean.
I did
about refereeing.
And here's where I'm just confused a little bit. So I had a slight confusion over the goalkeeper interference rules in the FA Cup, which is governed by the same body, we would imagine. The PGMOL, the FA somehow sees all of these bodies. There was an instance where I believe it was Diaz got a body in front of Vicario, prevented a block onto a goal that ended up being a goal. When I saw it, I saw no difference from any other corner that you would ever see. I didn't see a reason to be upset about that goal. Also, we were thoroughly beaten in that game. There's no reason to complain about that.
Yeah.
In my mind, if it wasn't that goal, it was going to be the next one.
Well, you only didn't you only lose 1-0?
It was 1-0. Yeah. But if it wasn't that opportunity, it was going to be the next. It was going to be the next. We were thoroughly beaten in that game, and it felt like no hope to score a goal on the other end. Anyways, it comes full circle to Everton, and this was the first goal, not the second, I believe.
But it was the equalizer. Yeah.
It was the equalizer in a similar situation, and a body interferes with Vicario getting to the corner, which ends up in a goal. And this one seemed a little bit more than the previous. And I'm wondering where that line's going to be drawn of what is interference with the goalkeeper.
I really think. What do you think, Brad? You look like you had a thought.
As didn't Ben White do this also in the Forest game for you guys?
So this is kind of.
I remember seeing that, and I was like, "Ooh, like I'm with you, Sean." But like, there has to be some sort of.
Where is it though? Where is the line?
I think the line is grabbing, and I think it has to do with hands and arms and holding and things like that.
Okay.
I think the defender standing where he wants to stand, and then like kind of pushing back a little bit because the goalie's pushing on him, pushing back a little bit. I think that's going to be acceptable, because Arsenal scored 2 corners against Crystal Palace against this.
Yeah, it was out. Yep.
And the referees didn't care. The VAR didn't care. We've seen this now a couple times, but like in the fall, they were calling interference more for overt pushes and holds on the goalkeeper. It seems like they're just relaxing that, and that it's going to be acceptable for the offensive player to just kind of plant right in front of the goalkeeper and then push a little bit. And so I think that Vicario. I didn't think that the one against Vicario for the first Everton goal was that bad. It was akin to what Ben White got away with against Crystal Palace. And so I think
the Man City one looked like a normal corner to me.
Yeah. So
like Vicario should have done better.
I look at
is
that
what
Everton
it looked like
one.
to me.
I look at that Everton one, and I kind of think to myself, I said, I don't think that the goalkeeping coach prepared Vicario well enough for this, because I feel like the goalkeeping coach and the coaching staff would need to like be looking at what the referees are calling in these situations, what VAR is adjudicating, and relaying that to him and telling him what he can and can't get away with and what the offense is going to get away with. And in that situation, that needs to be a point of emphasis for these goalkeeping teams, to drill into their keepers, is that like on corners, they're going to just plant a defender right there, or they're going to plant a player right there, and he's going to push back on you. You need to be stronger. You have to push through him and win the ball. And as long as you win the ball, it should be okay. But if you don't win the ball, then you're going to get onana'd. So you have to win the ball.
Yeah.
So I question whether or not they prepared him well enough for it. But it's not.
That's true. It's a valid point.
It's not all sour grapes for Tottenham. There is. I need to eat a little bit of crow here, because there is a player in the Lily White who is exceeding my expectations of him. Now, he returned to Goodison Park as a former player. This is the one, the only Big Rich Richarlison. He has, I think they said 9 goals in 8 games, something like that.
10 on the season, 9 goals and 8.
That was not on my bingo card for him this year.
Yeah. He's been playing really strong, which is why I posed the question to Big Braddy Brad on the podcast. Would you rather have Cole Palmer? Would you rather have Richarlison? It's a funny question because obviously all 3 of us would rather have Cole Palmer.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
However, without the weekend's games, which so I can look it up now, I won't right now. But without the weekend's games, they produce at the same level, the same goals, same goal interactions per 90 minutes. They both produced 0.85 goals per minute. Or per 90, I'm sorry. So per 90, they both produce 0.85 goals per 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I propose a 1-week swapsy where we move Richarlison to Chelsea and Cole Palmer to Tottenham, and Cole Palmer plays on the pitch with Madison, and
Richarlison plays
with Jackson or Nkuku or Broja or whoever, and we cook up the double 9 strat and the double 10 strat on both teams.
Yeah,
and we see what happens. The issue is that
it is a ridiculous argument. Cole Palmer they play for different positions, and eventually Cole Palmer's going to be a better player. He's would you say he's 20 years old, 21?
Yeah, there's at least a 5-year age gap, if not 6 years age gap.
Yeah.
And
but it is funny.
And one person is supposed to score all of the goals, where one person is supposed to set up and score some goals.
Well,
he's not supposed to score all the goals.
Richarlison? No, but he is the center forward.
As a striker, as a center forward, your job is to score goals.
The highest goal scorer on the team. Now, if you make your number 10 your penalty merchant, then of course he's going to score more goals. And historically this year, Tottenham have gotten a very, very minuscule number of penalties. I think 1 this year.
And exactly none.
No, you guys have 1.
Okay, we have 1.
I think you guys finally got one like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
I don't even care if it's 1. It's still very small.
It's still none.
We took you took a letter away.
There is still 4 less than Cole Palmer specifically has taken. That's not even including all of Chelsea's.
Yeah. Hold on, and scored. Hold on, and scored.
And scored
because we have to put it in there because Nunez has had a couple of misses there.
Oh, he did have a miss this weekend.
Nunez had 2 misses at least this weekend, or this past 2 weeks of games. Nunez missed a penalty against Chelsea.
He did miss a penalty, and then he did miss a penalty on the weekend as well.
Yeah.
So, all right. You guys have any other thoughts? Big ups to Luton Town getting a 4-4 draw away at Newcastle. They were up 4-2 in that game, and Joel, I hope you will forgive me for spoiling a text message that you sent to us. But your text message was "How out?" or something like that.
Yeah.
So
it was Eddie Howe out. Eddie Howe was done.
We're gonna need to have you on the podcast here in the next couple weeks to break down what's going on with Newcastle. Aston Villa steamrolled Sheffield, just absolutely obliterated them. 4 goals in the first half, 5th goal right at the other side of halftime, and win the game 5-0. And everyone, you guys are sleeping on United, but United have took 6 points over the last match weekend. So
they barely beat Wolves.
Hey, I'm just saying they got 6 points.
They did smash West Ham, but they barely beat Wolves.
So I think we'll have to revisit this is United crap conversation in a couple weeks' time to see where they are now. shockingly enough, Lisandro Martinez just went down again with another injury. So who knows if he's going to play again this year, which would be a huge blow to them. But we will see. Just a note, there are FA Cup replays happening, I think today as you guys are getting this, maybe some yesterday as well.
Today is Aston Villa Chelsea.
Yeah, so you should watch that. Maybe
Should.
Pochettino coaches his last game as a Chelsea manager if Aston Villa destroy them, or maybe he saves himself and they win. Well, we will see. Check back tomorrow. We are back to 2 episodes this week. We will have a preview of the Premier League coming up this weekend for you guys. Down below, drop a comment. Let us know what you're thinking about all those games that happened. Sean got a new microphone. Let him know how it sounds. If you like it, you see he's not holding it today. Well, you see if you're on YouTube. If you're on the audio site, you don't see that. But he got a new microphone, so let him know what it sounds like. And we will check back with you guys tomorrow. You won't want to miss it. But until then, have a good one.